Hello, and welcome back to my Black Mirror reviews. I feel like as every season goes by, it actually improves more and more, and this is no different. Season 3 is really fucking good. Now, this is when Black Mirror switched over from the UK to the United States, and it got picked up by Netflix. I think there was actually a 2 year period after the special before this season. And you can tell the budget's jumped up quite a bit, and it's worth it. There are 6 episodes in the season, so instead of doing what I've done with the previous ones, where I just go episode by episode in order, I'm actually rating these from my least favorite to my most favorite. And I have a feeling my most favorite pick is going to be one that a lot of people pick as their most favorite for this season, because it is really fucking good. So let's jump right into the worst episode of the season.
Don't forget, I'm 57 years old.
Season 3, Episode 4, San Junipero. Now, in this episode, this woman meets another woman named. Okay, the woman's Yorkie, and she meets Kelly at a place called San Junipero in 1987. Now, they meet, have sex, whatever, and they struggle to find each other, and Yorkie gets told to look for her in a different town. So you see her looking through multiple decades until she finds Kelly in 2002. And Kelly says she's dying, they have sex again. We find out San Junipero is basically just this virtual reality world where not elderly, and dead people can interact through their younger bodies. And they meet each other. Yorkie gets euthanized so she can live in San Junipero permanently. It's like just an afterlife in a way. And yeah, there's not much to the episode, and eventually the two do reunite after they both die. It's not a bad episode, it's just I didn't find it very interesting. I watched it on double speed because it dragged on a bit.
Bugs, 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 bugs.
Next, we have fifth place on my list, which is also episode 5. Again, none of these episodes are actually bad. Now, this is Men Against Fire. This is a bit more sci-fi. Soldiers are fighting these creatures called roaches. They're mutants, and they use an augmented reality implant in their eye that gives them data. So we see Stripe, which is this main character, and he kills two of the mutants, but one of them uses something that interferes with his eye. It makes him see things strange. Eventually, he tries to save a woman and a child when another member of his team tries to kill them, and the woman explains that this implant actually causes the soldiers to see them as mutants, but there's no such thing. They're just normal humans. It comes down to the fact that these roaches are actually an ethnic group which the military sent to commit genocide against, kill them off. So now the other member of the team kills the mother and child and knocks him unconscious. Eventually, he's given the choice by a shrink that he can either be imprisoned forever or get his memory wiped. And that's basically it. The last thing we see is that he's going to a house and a partner that he pictured in his mind, but it's all a figment of his implant. And that's about it. Pretty good episode, actually. It just plays on what soldiers would do if they were unknowingly forced to do it. And he tried to fight back, but not much he could do. On to number 4 on my list, we have the first episode of the season, and this is Nosedive. Now, in Nosedive, think of the social credit system China uses. That's basically what this is. Set in a world where every single interaction you have with a person can be rated by you on a scale of 1 to 5. 5 stars. And we meet Lacey, who's at 4.2, and she's trying to move up in the rankings to get a better house. She eventually is invited to be maid of honor at a friend of hers' wedding, but her flight gets cancelled and she's too low rated, so she can't get a replacement. She argues with staff member and security, and she gets a point removed from her rating. She's also placed on a system where all of her poor ratings are doubled. It fucking sucks. So she ends up renting this shitty car and it breaks down. And she hitchhikes with a truck driver, Susan. She's rated 1.4. and she gets uninvited from the wedding because of her now lower rating. She still gate crashes the wedding and eventually gets arrested because people keep giving her lower and lower ratings and she gets aggressive. She's taken to prison where she's sentenced for the rest of her life and is now unrateable. She's not a citizen. And it's kind of a wholesome scene at the end where she gets along with another inmate because they're both unrateable and now they can't be judged. They're free in a way, even though they're imprisoned. Very good episode. Like I said, think of China.
Oh, no, not the beast! Not the beast! Ah!
Next we have the final episode of the season, and this is Hated in the Nation. Again, going for the more like apocalyptic ideal. So bees are going extinct, and this company has created these robot bees, ADRs. A detective and another person are discovering that a few rogue bees caused the death of 2 people. And they were subject to a hashtag online, which is just hashtag death2, and then their name. So whoever's mentioned most alongside that hashtag is killed every single day by these ADRs. They try and save the next target, but the ADRs swarm the place and kill it. People eventually start to become aware of this game, the public knows, and the detective's able to tag it to a former employee of the company. They find out that these bees were hacked and it was part of his plan to kill everyone who used the hashtag. They used his hacking toolkit, which was quite stupid. Why would you use the tools the hacker used? Obviously, you booby-track them. And when they do this, the bees go nuts and kill everyone who used the hashtag to try and kill someone else. About 400,000 people. It's actually a very interesting concept for an episode. You'd think of something like nanites doing this sort of thing in the future. Well, a little worrying, but no, it was very good. On to number 2 on my list, and it's number 2 of the season. This is Playtest. So, this young man travels the world after his father dies, and just basically ignores his mother, cuts her off, and he ignores her phone calls. He spends a night with a woman and eventually gets offered to playtest an experimental game. First he does an AR version of Whack-A-Mole, and then he tests a horror game where this network learns from his fears. So he fights a simulated version of the woman he slept with, and he's told that it shouldn't cause him physical pain, even though it is. And they try to terminate the test. And they take him to a room to terminate the test, and he loses his memories. The people in charge of this game tell him that the tech is too advanced to be removed. And he now wakes up in the office of the owner of the company that did this game, being told that all the events that he just did were simulated. So he's quite pissed, but he returns home and meets his mother, but his mother can't recognize him. This is where the episode comes to pretty much a halt. And we find out that the entirety of the episode, ever since the Whack-A-Mole, was simulated. And it only lasted 0.04 seconds. He died during the experiment when his mother phoned him, and it caused interference. It caused this whole loop to go on in his head, and that's it. He just ended like that. Kind of a shit way to kill him off, but it's a really good actor, and I enjoyed the concept. The fact that the entire thing only happened in 0.04 seconds is what the hell, you know?
It's a big fucking stroking nonce.
But none of these come close to the best episode of the season, and I think a lot of people agree to it. Even though this doesn't really play into the sci-fi element, it's so well thought out, and the twist at the end is just tragic, you know? So this is episode 3 of the season, Shut Up and Dance. This young man comes home and he gets busy masturbating, and a hacker records it through his webcam on his PC and threatens to release it unless he follows the instructions. Now you think, okay, you know, it's embarrassing, but it's not that bad. He eventually is told to do more and more. He ends up working with someone else who's also following their commands so that he doesn't lose custody of his children. and they end up robbing a bank. Now you start to think, why the hell is this kid going through all this effort just to hide a video of him jerking off? Well, the kid gets dropped off and is told to fight another blackmailed person to the death over the money that they stole in the robbery. The other guy also has a bit of a remark saying, you're so young, shocked that this kid's involved in this. They eventually fight to the death, it's insinuated, and he staggers out of the woods alive. Then it's revealed that the hackers released the footage. All the people that participated in the game had their footage released. There's a bit of a cringy part where they all get a troll face on their phone, but the game was just to screw with them. Right at the end, as the music comes to a swell, also excellent choice of a song, his mother phones him. And we find out that the reason he was doing all this is that he was watching child pornography. It's pretty fucked up. And he basically accepts his fate as the police arrive. It got leaked online that that's what he was doing, and it puts into perspective why he was willing to go to all those lengths to not let that footage be leaked. It also puts into a thing that the other guy was shocked he was so young, because someone so young already being involved in something like that is tragic. It's fucked up. And it's an excellent episode. I think a lot of people know about this episode, and it's actually one I read about online before I even watched Black Mirror. It's one of the reasons I wanted to watch it. And yeah, it lived up to it. Definitely good. I'd say season 3 as a whole is the best season I've watched so far, just because the top 3 episodes I really enjoyed. Season 2 was also pretty good, but obviously season 1 was a disappointment. And that's my Black Mirror season 3 review. If you liked it, please let me know down below. Leave a like, leave a comment, and please subscribe. I want to get more subscribers, And I'll see you all in the next one. If you have any recommendations for future rankings or reviews, let me know. Bye-bye.